Good afternoon, everyone. So welcome to the information session for the Bachelor of Social Science program. And we are the major and minor program for social policy and social development. From this slide, you can see that our slogan is become a catalyst for change, work for a just and caring society. As you may be contemplating different majors and minor opportunity within Hong Kong U, there are political science, there are sociology, and all these studies related to social science may seem interesting to you. But specifically, our program differ from other programs in that we care about social change, and we want to learn about what would be some specific steps and possibility and channels that can really bring about social change. You may care about the social problems that we experience in Hong Kong or elsewhere outside of Hong Kong, that people are suffering from low income in poverty, and also the high housing prices are haunting many families within Hong Kong. And also some community development isn't equal in different regions in Hong Kong. All these problems, and how can we do something about it? And I think our program, Social Policy and Social Development, will be a more direct channel for you to learn about the pathway to social change. Before I go into our specific curriculum, I would like to introduce you the major pillars in our program. First, the first major pillar is the social policy and social development. The second pillar would be social entrepreneurship and innovation. And then the third pillar would be social data and research. And I will go over what these are one by one. First, about social policies. So policy generally is the action taken by the government that is intends to improve human welfare to meet needs for education, health, housing, and economic security. It's not restricted to these, but basically these policy action can be in the fields of poverty reduction, social security, employment, animal rights, pensions, healthcare, housing, family policy, child protection, education policy, criminal justice, and urban development, and so on. So actually the government interfere with many affairs that help govern how the society operates, and they also determine what are some services and regulations that are being applied in the society. And it also set up the structure to invite NGOs and also other civil society and also citizens to participate in the operation of these social policies. So in policy practice, we learn about like the theory behind policies, the implementation process of policy, and how do we change policy. These are all interesting questions that we will be able to learn from our program. And here, I would like to show you a video that introduces you to social policy. Okay.
Social policy was born out of the belief that we could do something to address problems in societies. It was born out of an awareness by certain key figures of the detrimental effects of the development of capitalism. Its roots are in a belief in our capacity for social change and for social improvements.
Social policy is the study of the way that societies come together in order to meet human needs.
A social policy is a policy that's designed to address problems of human well-being.
Social policy is the study of all the really big questions about how we organise ourselves as societies.
when we teach social policy, when we teach introductory social policy, we often start way back in the area of the Industrial Revolution, and we look at the way that the emancipation of the market back in the 18th century led to new vulnerabilities, problems like unemployment, which had never been the case before, and then what sorts of responses societally we started to see. So, for example, the creation of welfare states.
So how do we make sure that everybody has a decent income to live on, and that they have access to education, to health, to housing? And how far should it be up to families and the market economy to provide for those things, for people to organise those things for themselves? Or does the state need to have a role? And if the state has a role, what role should that be? How should they get involved? How should they organise services?
It engages with very difficult issues relating to global poverty, global inequalities, and it emphasises the importance of different ways of understanding those problems and different ways in which those problems are addressed, for better or worse.
After learning about what social policy is, and basically the practice of social policies involves in policy making itself, as well as organizing the community, organizing the constituency, all the interest group to come together to advocate for policy. And also it involves policy research to inform the policy debates. And then for those of you who are interested in government jobs, studying social policy also equip you with the knowledge about how social policy should be operated and implemented, and also evaluated. So this is the one of the pillars of our major. And then social development takes a broader view on the on how we improve social well-being, not restricted to the government sector. So a lot of times, like people who are interested in social development will work in the NGO settings, in private foundations, or in community organizations. So the goal of social development is to improve the well-being of individuals in the society so they can reach their full potential. And the population that we may concern about include like persons with disability, elders, like victims of domestic violence, or victims of like child abuse. So some of you who may be more interested in micro practice to work with families themselves, and after majoring in our program, you can also move on to like Master of Social Work program that will equip you to be a social worker. But at the same time, if you're more interested in indirect practice, you want to contribute to social well-being, but you are not very interested in those type of interpersonal work, then working in the social development organization will also be a possibility. So here is a picture of a typical NGO office. It's like any other like organization office, where a lot of times that you will be there to interact with your colleagues, and also perhaps see clients or work with your constituencies from the office. So that's the work setting that oftentimes that you're in. And then in terms of social development project, it could be local programs that's run in the office, or sometimes it could involve international development project, then that will take you to elsewhere around the world. And a lot of our students have overseas internship experience, and so majoring in our program may also open doors to further international development job opportunities. And basically in the NGO setting, there are, or private foundation settings, there are many job functions beyond the service provision role. You may be managing program, managing NGO, or making grants, or like doing fundraising, doing market research, doing communication. And so these are all the possibility in the social development field. And nowadays, when we want to pursue social change, we want evidence, we want decisions to be based on data. So that is why that we specifically created a focus, a pillar on social data and research. So we want, so I can argue that our program could be the most elaborated in data training within Faculty of Social Sciences, because with the new trend in the society and the demand in the job market, so we want to equip students with the ability to process data and to leverage evidence to advocate for social change. And then the last pillar is related to social entrepreneurship and social innovation. So this is a new field in social policy and social development. So it is doing social good, achieving the objective is to achieve social, cultural, environmental goals, but then it is through a business setting, the business setting with a very clear social goal. So here is a video that introduces you to the field of social entrepreneurship. Okay.
Social entrepreneurship strengthens communities, creates jobs, and increases environmental and financial sustainability. Social entrepreneurs use a specific business model called social enterprise to directly address a social, cultural, or environmental issue. Let's show you a few examples. A bakery social enterprise might provide training and jobs to people who face persistent barriers to employment. They help them build skills they can use to find full-time work. A community orchestra could help amateur musicians connect with each other and perform for local paying audiences. Tickets are so affordable that anyone can watch their concerts. The groups get to learn about and share the music of different cultures within the community. An environmental enterprise might provide subsidies for energy retrofits to homeowners to make their homes more efficient and to help the environment. In each example, the social enterprise is directly addressing one or more important community issues by making and selling a product or service to paying customers. All social entrepreneurs and social enterprises seek to achieve more than a bottom-line financial result. They exist primarily to meet their mission. It is not uncommon for these types of businesses to strive for value on double or even a triple bottom-line approach, which takes into consideration both people and the planet. So who are these social entrepreneurs? Well, they can be anyone. Social entrepreneurs are started by people who care enough about something to take the necessary action to make an impact. Even you can be the next social entrepreneur. Akram started a local urban garden. The garden exists to provide healthy food to people in urban areas that may not have access to these items otherwise. They also teach skills around urban farming and healthy eating. Their participants sell what they have grown at their weekly market stand, and this helps to pay for the garden. June worked in a nonprofit providing help for persons with disabilities to find jobs. However, there weren't many jobs available for these people, even with the provided coaching and training. So June decided to start a cafe supported by her organization to employ the clients. They get supportive and understanding employment, and the organization can eventually make money to provide more social programming. John noticed youth in his area were underemployed. He also noticed the elderly were moving out because they could not maintain simple household chores like vacuuming, lawn mowing, and shoveling. Additionally, the two groups were not interacting with one another. He decided to start a social enterprise employing youth where they could rake leaves, mow lawns, and shovel snow for the elderly, who would pay them for their services. The youth get valuable hands-on experiences, and the elderly can live in their homes longer because these services are being offered. And both get to learn about each other and break down barriers that help create the generational gap. So you can see all types of people do it. People on their own, and working in organizations too. If the primary purpose is to create social, cultural, and/or environmental value, then it is a social enterprise. When more people engage in this work, we can strengthen our communities and change the world for the better, one caring social entrepreneur at a time.
Okay. So if you are interested in what the video talked about to utilize business idea to achieve social goals, and then this may be the program for you, because we have curriculum specifically like that equip students with the practice knowledge of how social enterprise can be run, and then what would be the business model behind it, and what would be the theoretical understanding among existing social entrepreneurship research. And then one local examples from Hong Kong is the Comfort Me social enterprise. So for this, the founder of the social enterprise noticed that there are survivors of breast cancer that they had a very difficult time to find suitable bra. And then sometimes they ended up wearing just a piece of clothes with, because the market product would not provide them with the suitable bra at an affordable price. So this social enterprise has a social mission to fit the needs of people who have unconventional like bra needs. So then they manufacture this bra at a very affordable price. So then those people who are survivors of cancer, they will have opportunity to purchase affordable bra. So in some way, this enterprise still make money from their product, but at the same time, it has a very clear social goal and it has its social value. And the major goal of this enterprise is not to gain profit and then share with stakeholder. Rather, they use the profit to do more social good. So this is the idea behind social entrepreneurship. So after finding out about our different pillars, and then we'll move on to the objectives of the program. We want to equip students with the theory of social policy and social development in the local and global context. We have professors from different places around the world, including those are in South Korea, mainland China, Hong Kong locals, of course, and also Taiwan. And also from the US. So we have international body of instructors that can share different perspectives in social policy and social development. So theoretical understanding is one of our major objectives that we want to equip students with. And then we also want to equip students with the ability in evaluating social policy and assess social needs through rigorous research. And we also want to bring awareness to students on contemporary social issues and social justice. And we want to equip students with the competencies in practically designing and providing social and policy services. Lastly, eventually, we will want students to become the future leaders in social development and become advocates for social change. So this is the course roadmap in our program. During the first year, if you are interested in the program, you can take the introduction to social policy and social development. And subsequently, for those who are majoring in our program, we have 4 additional required courses. And these courses include social entrepreneurship and social innovation, advanced social policy and social development, social research method, and introduction to social data analysis. So if you're interested in our minor program, you can choose 2 of the above courses. And then we have a rich range of elective courses. These cover some issue-specific topics such as social policy issues in Hong Kong, migration and mobility, population and development, and so on. And then for those of you who are interested in becoming a social entrepreneurs, we have a series of courses in the social entrepreneurship area. And we also have specific courses on community development, public engagement, policy advocacy practice, and so on. And for those of you who also share the goal to equip yourself with data analytics skill and research skill, then we have a series of research electives that focus on big data training, and also like advanced statistics and program and policy evaluation and so on. At the end of our curriculum during the 4th year, there will be a capstone project on social policy and social development that brings students together to pick a topic of their interest and actively engage in independent research. And then from the research, then they can take further action to solve or address the social problem that they care about. So this is a consolidation process for students to integrate what you have learned in the previous 3 years in a final research product, a collaborative research product. And prior groups have worked on topics related to community development, education, housing, like the healthcare setting, or in the social enterprise or welfare related settings. And in terms of career opportunities, for those of you who are more interested in policy and social development related capacity, then you may work in the government as government officer or executive officer. And you may also work in think tank or in research institution as a policy analyst or researcher. And you can also work in NGOs as development officer, program officer. And other job opportunity also include working in advocacy organization as policy advocate, to work in LegCo as legislative assistants, or in political party as assistant to political leaders, or working in community organization as organizers. For those of you who are interested in social entrepreneurship and social innovation, you can become a social entrepreneur yourself. In our prior graduate, we do have students who in the end pursue a career in social entrepreneur, as a social entrepreneur. And then you can also be program manager, grant making analyst, researcher, social media manager, communication officer, marketing manager, and so on. And so for those of you who love research and want to devote your career to research, in many NGOs, there will be monitoring and evaluation offers a position. And specifically, this job is devoted to like evaluating the service and provision in the organization. And then, so this could be accountability for founders and also for governments. And there are also positions like social data analyst, policy analyst, or market research analyst that you can, that's where you can utilize your data analytics skill in your future career. So, so thank you for your time to listening to the introduction of our program in social policy and social development. If you have further interest related to the program, please do not hesitate to contact us either through phone or through email. And here I would like to show you our website. So you just simply have to Google Hong Kong U Social Policy and Social Development, then that will lead you to our program brochure and website. So here we provide an overview of the program and to tell you about the focus of our curriculum and also the career options. And if we have different events that can introduce you to topics in social policy and social development, we will also post it on the website. So currently we have a video related to social development responses under the COVID-19 context. So here we feature different instructors in the program to talk about different fields of responses. And then next week we'll also run a seminar on the housing responses in Hong Kong, like how do we resolve the housing problem in Hong Kong. So there we invited practitioner from the field to an expert to speak on the topic. And later on, we will also post that video on our website. And at the end of this website, we will have an inquiry session. So if you have further questions, feel free to contact either me or Ariel, or you can simply just send a message through this website. So hopefully we can stay connected, and I look forward to welcome you in the future in our program. Okay, Thank you. And now I'm going to hand the time to Andy, who is our alum, and he will share about his experience in the program.
So let me share the PowerPoint with you. Please visual. Okay, so I think you can see the PowerPoint here. So let me introduce some about myself. So I'm Andy. I'm just a fresh graduate from the program of B.Ed and B.Social Sciences, and my major is Social Work and Social Administration. So which is renamed as SPSD, Social Policy and Social Development this year. So a little bit about myself. So you can call me Andy, and then I have been here for 5 years because I'm having my double degree program. But if you are enrolling in BSocial Sciences, you probably will be at Hong Kong U for 4 years. And then my major, I've talked about it. And then my second major is about liberal studies education, while my minor is counseling. So I'm now being a student of Master of Social Work at Hong Kong U as well. So I can tell you some reasons about why I'm choosing this major. One very important thing is that I think this major is providing a very comprehensive and fruitful learning experience. You doesn't only learn about theories, but you can put your theories into practice. Like you can apply theory into the real life situation for social development or for you to understand the society. Also, during the lesson, you will have different kind of learning activities, like having case study or discussion about different policies and social issues, as well as we are having some experiential learning activities, like we will have visits to different NGOs, we can have debate during the class, or we even have some workshops, like the workshops for doing SPSS, a kind of research, for doing research. And also what we are learning is very down to earth, like what you are learning is actually related to society. And the second main reason is that we usually have small class learning. So usually our class will consist of, I think, less than 30 students in the class. So you can get familiarized with your lecturer and your classmates, and then you can learn happily together. And the third reason, I think it is quite important for most of our students, is about no examination, usually. So for the courses in this major, we usually have a presentation essay rather than having examinations, because we focus more about your understanding or your application of the theories to your practice, instead of just reciting the factual information. And for future prospect, as Julia mentioned, you have got different fields to engage, like social enterprise, NGOs, or other kind of organization. And I think also, just like me, you can enroll in master program, like Master of Social Work, or some of our graduate has also enrolled in MPhil for studying social development and doing some kind of research. And also, because our lecturers are coming from different backgrounds, like psychology, social work, and sociology. So you can interact with them more and to know more about different fields. And then you can choose for your future career. So I'm going to share with you some of my courses taken during my 5 years of study of social work and social administration. So the first one is about some theoretical foundation in social policy and planning, which is equivalent to Social Work 2142 that you can select throughout your study for the social development and the SPSD program, the social policy and social development. So you doesn't only learn about theories, but you are going to apply your theories into some social issues analysis. Like the presentation here, we are doing discussion and debate about having minimum wage. So we will also have some kind of debate and discussion throughout the lecture. The second one is about community building and civil society. So for this course, I think it is very special because we are given the opportunity to visit different kind of CSO, or what you call NGO usually. So we have got like Greenpeace or MST International. They have some guests to come and then give us a lecture. Or we are also given the opportunity to visit different kind of NGO. And you can see from the photo here, we have been to a very small local NGO called DB Mothers and Friends, and they are NGO that they will collect furniture from very rich family and then transfer to the family with lower socioeconomic statuses. So it is kind of helping with the social inequality issues. And throughout your hands-on experience and your interaction with different kind of people involved, and you can learn more about how different stakeholders think about the society. For the third one, I think it is very important for you to learn about research method. And as Julius has mentioned, you have got different kind of research courses you can take. And one is about Social Work 2143, the social research method. And I think it is very important for your final year project, or what we call capstone usually, because you are going to conduct your own research. So you have to know about how do you do research, like the procedure and the steps. And also it helps you to understand the society, or how you see the things in your daily life, because you also learn about how to solve your real life issue throughout doing research. Like we will define your scope of research, and then we will do some literature review. So you are going to see your the past literature done by other scholars, and to grab some brief idea about the issue first. And then you are going to design your research questions so that you know what you are going to study. And then you also have to choose your methodologies, like whether you are doing questionnaire, you are doing interview, or even you are doing experiment. And then you will do some data analysis. So it is very important. And it is not as easy as your IES in your liberal studies curriculum in the secondary school. It will be much more advanced, and then it will be much more academic based. And the last one is about your capstone experience. So one very special thing for the capstone is that we are going to do it in a group base. So you will get less anxious instead of you doing it yourself. And also, you are going to do it in your final year of study. So you can integrate what you have learned throughout the SPSD major into the capstone project. And then you also have got different kind of themes to choose, and you can design your own topic. And for our group, we are doing about secondary school students' perception of romantic relationship. So you may find it very strange because it doesn't look relevant to social policy or social development. But actually, it is quite important for us to know about the social policies of sex education in Hong Kong. So throughout our research, we found that actually boys and girls are having different perceptions to romantic relationship. And if social policies are not dealing with that, there may be some relational issues among boys and girls, or even how they see the society in the future. So it actually give us some implication for our future policy maker, that we can have some compulsory sexuality education, as well as what you can teach or what you have to learn to for this sex education program. So it actually gives us some implication for the social development as well. And you also work for the whole semester for the whole project, so you can make some good friends during your capstone time. And apart from studying, we also have some interesting experience during my study. And yeah, for the capstone, we also have the final showcast. So you show your, you will show your result, or show your work to other students in the university. So this year, I think there are 2 groups of students doing the capstone as well. So one of them is doing about students for ethnic minorities in kindergarten. So I think maybe next time, if you come to Hong Kong, you can also have a look. And apart from studying, I also joined some internship and volunteer services. So the first one, I will do some internship at local NGOs. I've worked in AIDS Concern as policy and advocacy intern. So I'm studying about something like the male who have sex with men, and they are banned to have blood donation. And however, we do some research and literature review about the case. And eventually, the policy in Hong Kong has changed a little bit, that they are only suspended for 1 year for blood donation. But So if you are interested in some policy and advocacy, you may also consider about this kind of topic. And for the second one, because our program is under the Faculty of Social Sciences, so we are also having a course called Social Innovation, which you are going to have internship in local organization. And then I have enrolled in the internship for Principal Chan Free Tutorial Road, which I will conduct some social activities for the volunteers, as well as teaching in guitar courses and doing some administration stuff in the center. So I will interact with the students and the parents so as to know more about their living with lower socioeconomic statuses. And apart from social innovation, there is also a program called Global Citizenship, where you can choose to have internship or you can choose to have exchange in overseas communities. And then I have been to Adelaide in South Australia, so as to have some internship for refugee issues. And throughout the internship, we can know more about like cultural diversity or social inclusion in other countries. So as to bring the experience back to Hong Kong for the social development in Hong Kong. And apart from some macro practices, I've also joined Open Up, which is an organization formed with the Suicidal Prevention Center of Hong Kong U and other NGOs. And then I am even until now, I'm still doing volunteer there, that I will do some counseling for young adolescents. So throughout the volunteer work, you can also learn about the mental health issue, especially for youth in Hong Kong, which can also give you some implication to do some social development or advocacy program for the mental health issue in Hong Kong. And apart from these, students from our major will also join some student societies or join some hall activities. So this will be the end of my presentation. So I hope you will enjoy your study with the program of social policy and social development.